Welcome to the Fight with Teddy Atlas, presented by Dynamic Striking. I'm Ken Rideout, joined as always by the voice of MMA, Teddy Atlas, and today's very special guest, third member of the broadcast team, making a record-setting third or fourth appearance on the Fight with Teddy Atlas, Diamond Dustin Poirier. What's up, Dustin?
What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Good, man. It's good to see you.
Thanks for taking the time again, Dustin. We appreciate it. How's your family doing?
They're doing great, man. I just started training camp, so I'm here a couple weeks by myself, but next week they will be here with me. You know, my mind's going crazy being away from them this long. It makes me think, what the hell was I doing before I had a daughter and this kind of lifestyle? You know, I'm very, very quickly being away from them, I start missing it.
Yeah, sure. It's a quick reminder, if you ever need it, of why you do this.
Yeah, for sure, man. I always like to start my training camp alone, away from them, kind of get tempered into the workload, and then they fly out and meet me. But man, for some reason, this trip feels like forever.
You look great. You really look great. My first question would be, how is this camp different from the last camp? And is it different, in a positive, negative, anything, compared to the last camp when you were getting ready for McGregor? Obviously in a whole different mindset. You know, you were
Right.
going in there to avenge the first loss. So how's this camp?
It's, Teddy, I'm taking it like I took the last beginning of preparation. I didn't want it. You said revenge, but going into the last fight, the rematch, I didn't want the camp to be about that. I wanted it to be a whole new slate, a whole new fight. Let me try to evolve and be a better fighter than I was. Not even the last fight with him, but just my last fight out. And that's the same thing I'm going into this training camp with, is just trying to evolve. Of course, we're going to look back at the fight, see some things I did well, see some things I didn't, and try to improve. But it's a whole new fight. Every fight I go into, I try to treat it like a brand new fight.
You know, I remember telling people, were asking, and you were on the show with us, and they were asking before the last fight about your chances. And I remember saying that if anybody thinks that this is the same Dustin Poirier as 6 years ago, they don't understand this game. They don't understand this business. He's not the same guy. I mean, not only has he matured physically in different ways and technically in different ways and grown as a fighter, but he's grown as a person. He's grown as a man. He's not the baby that he was, and I'm not saying that in any derogatory way, but he's a whole different animal now. You know, he knows what it felt like. He knows what he went through. He breathed the air of the high altitude, of those kind of things that you have to breathe to be able to handle it. And he's a whole different person now. So here's my question to you, and I think it's the question that the audience would ask me to ask, is now that you've gotten that win and that you've accomplished what you've accomplished, you beat one of the great strikers in the game, are you still going to, is it going to be a positive, or is it going to possibly be a negative, that the urgency, the hunger, if you will? Because let's face it, and I'm very happy for you. We are. Any good people would be happy for you because of the kind of human being that you are. That after all those times, you really, truly personify earning it, doing it the right way, the hard. Nobody could take that away from you. So now you've earned that. You've earned that personally. You've earned that for your legacy, but monetarily, you've earned it to be able to take care of your family now the way that you want to, at a better place. Has in any way, it's all positive, but in any way, can that take some of the urgency from you, some of the hunger from you? Because that's the question that people are going to ask.
No, and of course, everybody would say the same thing. No, but I truly mean that. And my goal is to just keep evolving. If I go into this fight the same fighter I was in the last one, I've done myself a disservice. I need to continue to grow, continue to push myself. And that's the reason I'm fighting, is because I want to find out my ceiling. I want to see what my limits are, and I need to be pushed. And this is, just because I beat that guy, I feel the urgency. This is a hell of a challenge. He's a great fighter, an incredible athlete. And now he's going to be pushing himself even harder, trying to get this one back, So I just know the stakes, and I'm not there yet. Like, sail off into the sunset with my family. I'm not there yet. I'm in my prime, and I want to keep working towards that.
The other thing, and that's exactly what I would expect from a person like you. Keep evolving, keep getting better, keep growing. The journey hasn't ended. We still got
Right.
some road ahead of us. And
And
go ahead.
like I said, when asked that question, every fighter, everybody in my position is going to say the same thing. I'm still starving. I still want this more than anything. But I can show you better than I can tell you. July 10th. That's when we find out.
Yeah, it all comes out in the wash. You're right. Listen, spoken like the person that I believe you to be and that I admire you for, an honest person.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, you give an honest effort in the ring or in the octagon and an honest way of conducting yourself in life outside of it.
Hey guys, quick break to give a shout out to today's sponsor. Today's episode is brought to you by Brave, the privacy browser. We've discussed it before. Other browsers don't respect your privacy. Brave is different. They've built better privacy into a much faster browser. 3 times faster than Chrome with a much better layout and experience. Brave automatically blocks big text trackers and intrusive ads that slow you down, drain your battery, and track you from site to site, and hit you with those creepy ads that follow you around the web. I'm sure we've all experienced it. You're having a conversation about bed sheets, and the next thing you know, you're getting ads for some bed sheet manufacturer. You know what I'm talking about. With Brave, no one, including Brave, sees what you're doing online. So head over to brave.com/atlas and join 30 million people who've upgraded their privacy browser for free, no charge whatsoever. Again, you can download it and use it for free. Switch in under 60 seconds by going to brave.com/atlas. Guys, today's episode is also brought to you by Athletic Greens. It's the ultimate all-in-one supplement for the body with 75 minerals, vitamins, and whole food sourced ingredients. We've been talking about these guys for a long time. They've been with us for a long time. You know we love them. I take this stuff every single day. Go to athleticgreens.com/atlas to get 10 free Athletic Greens travel packs with your first purchase. Again, go to athleticgreens.com/atlas to get healthy.
Before I give it to Ken, and then I'll come back with some specific questions about this fight and the strategy going into this fight. We understood the brilliant strategy of the last fight, but I'll go into that later. There were people that will say that McGregor lost some of that hunger. He made incredible money, more than normal. I mean, there were things that weren't normal. I mean, he had that crossover fight with Mayweather. I mean, that when does that happen? And
Right.
So he made incredible money. He's got his own whiskey. He's got all these things going on, right? A lot of people question this about Pacquiao, quite frankly. He went into politics, and would he still be able to keep his concentration and his all those things? But the question about McGregor out there is, did he lose his urgency? The same question I put to you. Did he lose his hunger? And if he did, that loss to you was what the doctor ordered. That loss, was what the doctor ordered in a certain way. Not that you would want any doctor to treat you that way. You'd have to sue the son of a gun for malpractice. But you get what I'm saying as a fighter. That maybe this has awakened something in him that had kind of not gone to sleep, but into hibernation just a little bit before. And now this is the wake-up call to know this is it. This is it. And are you thinking of that? Are you aware of that? I know you think about your head is straight ahead on what you got to do, what Dustin has to do. I know that. But is that something that is, real to you?
It's very real. That's something I'm aware of. I look at this game as a whole. I don't even like to call it a game, but I look at this picture as a whole. And for guys like that who maybe lose a little bit of steam what are they fighting for? Are they fighting for money at the beginning? When you get that, where do you audible and what's your why now? Is it legacy? Do you want a legacy now? Is that what's driving you? And everybody's different. And I can't say what it is for him, but I'm aware that we might see the most hungry Conor McGregor preparing for this trilogy. This is a big fight, and it means a lot for his legacy, as it does mine. So I do believe that you're going to get the best of both of us, and that's what the fans deserve, and that's what I owe myself.
100%. Ken, you take it.
Teddy, you mentioned Conor McGregor and money. It's been well publicized. He sold his stake with co-founders Adi Attar and Ken Austin, his stake in proper number 12 whiskey to Proximo Spirits. They had already owned 49% of the brand, but it was a $600 million deal, assuming he owned a third of their 50% stake. He probably got 150 to 200 million in cash. So he's clearly not fighting for money. The guy's got plenty of money, like Teddy said, between this and the Mayweather fight. But what a lot of people don't realize is the marketing power of a guy like Dustin Poirier. And I want to talk about some of your sponsors and give them some shine, because I know you're with Everlast, Celsius. Most recently, a huge deal with Samsung sprung up just because you're out there talking to people. And I know you're with Power Dot now. And I'm sorry, I'm getting a little long-winded, but I just want to set the table here. A lot of brands don't realize they want to go partner with a guy like Conor that has a huge reach, which I get. But Conor McGregor doesn't need money, and a small brand really can't afford it. By contrast, a brand working with Dustin Poirier, he's not going to work with a brand that he's not going to get motivated for and view himself as a partner. And that was one of the selling points when I introduced you to Power Dot. I said, this guy's he's going to work with you. He wants to be involved, or he's not going to partner with you. Maybe talk about some of your partnerships and give those sponsors some publicity here and what some of the things that you're working on with those guys.
I appreciate that, Ken. For me, like you were just saying, where I'm at in fighting in my career, money wise and stuff, I'm not going to partner with a brand unless it's something that I use. Like the Power Dot, before the deal came about, I was using it. I was traveling with the travel case, and I was using this on fight trips and training camps. So when they offered the deal, it made a lot of sense to me. It's easy to add these advertisements in when I'm using the product. Same as Celsius. Me and my wife were drinking Celsius when they first started, out here in Florida. And the deal came about, and it just made sense. Same thing with Everlast. I remember being a young fighter, saving up my money to buy new Everlast gloves. The deal came about. It just made sense. So I'm just thankful that a lot of these partnerships are very organic. And then the Samsung thing, I'm out here on Joe Rogan's podcast, talking about how much of a fan I am of Samsung, and they reach out, and it's just organic, and it's true because I'm using the products. You know what I mean? So I'm thankful for those brands that wanted to align themselves with me.
There's one other reason for it: the kind of human being you are, the kind of person you are, because all of these products, all of these companies, they want to be aligned with probably always, but in today's day and age, even more so, with someone with character, with somebody who stands for what they want it to stand for just good things.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, so I think that's a big part of it.
I stay true to myself. I try to call it like I see it. And honestly, man, I'm just a blue collar guy working hard, trying to make it. I still make mistakes. I still do dumb things here and there. But I learn, and life goes on, and I try to tighten up and be the best person I can be, and I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, that Samsung deal in particular, it's awesome to see non-endemic sponsors come into the sport and Samsung partner with you. And like Teddy said, these guys, the smallest slip up and you'll be out the door so fast. These companies can't afford to be aligning themselves with someone who's has domestic violence charges, drinking and driving, et cetera, et cetera. With Dustin Poirier, you don't have to worry about that. You're going to get a guy who's going to go out there, lay it all on the line, and behave like a gentleman outside of the ring. And that's evident to anyone who knows you and the sponsors that are working with you. So I just wanted to make sure that people realize the marketing power of someone like Dustin and the partners that you're working with, because I think a lot of times that stuff goes unmentioned. And, with fighting, we saw with Chris Weidman, one kick, and the thing could be over tomorrow. So it's important that you get every ounce of juice out of every squeeze, and you're doing it the right way. And I just think people should realize what they're getting in a partnership with Dustin Poirier. So I applaud you for all these, especially bringing in non-endemic sponsors like Samsung coming into the sport. It's awesome to see.
Thanks.
The only bad thing you might be able to attach Dustin with is that maybe on some particular weekend he might use too much hot sauce on his on his tortilla.
It's getting spicy over here.
Where is it? Where is it? There it
It's
is.
right there. You know it. Come on.
There it is. There it is. Dustin, I gotta get into the fight now.
Yeah.
All right. So you had a brilliant, just a magnificent fight plan. You know what you're fighting. That's the first thing. A man must know what he's fighting. Really. You got to know your environment. You have to know what the strengths and weaknesses are. You knew you're fighting a great striker and a great counterpuncher, one of the greatest, and a southpaw, of course. And so, what do you and your team do? Well, a guy can't be set. In boxing, we always say a guy can't be set to use his power if you give him angles, if you keep his feet moving, right? So in your sport, well, a guy can't be set to use his great power if you destroy his legs, if you take his foundation away. He can't be set, and you did. You went in there just unbelievable, and you destroyed his legs. You made a point when you came on our show, and I remember it, and you said you were even surprised that he didn't defend those leg kicks better, that he didn't turn his leg. If I remember correctly, I'm not trying to be an MMA expert. I'm just a boxing guy. But I think the way you termed it was you were surprised that he didn't turn his leg out more. Now, I would think that obviously if you could use that same strategy, you'd love to because it worked. But I know that you got to be prepared for a plan B and for a different alternative, obviously plan. You got to figure that this time he's going to turn his leg out or do something to deter those ferocious leg kicks that did so much damage. Am I on the ball there? Have you prepared in that kind of way for this one?
Yeah, we're starting to. We're getting everything rolling. For me, whenever those low calf kicks first started, getting more popular, and I'm a southpaw, so for these calf kicks to work, it has to be against another southpaw. And I fought Jim Miller back in, a few years ago back in New York at the Barclays Center, and he was the first guy to use them against me. And after that fight, my leg was so damaged, I had a whole new respect for the calf kick, the low leg kick game. And I'm expecting Conor to do the same now. He felt how crippling those kicks and how painful those kicks are and how much it changes the dynamic of a fight that I think he's going to try to use them against me now. I really do. And that's what I started doing. I started trying to use them every chance I got after I was hurt with them. It just, same thing with a body shot. Like you start sparring, moving around with good boxers, you get touched to the body, you realize, wow, that really takes the wind out of your sails. I need to add this to my arsenal. And I believe that's what Conor is going to do here. So I'm working on still landing my offense with my low kicks, but now I'm working on defending a lot more than I used to.
Yeah, because just as you said, to your point, that you'll be aware you have some kind of prevent defense for that. The other question I would ask you is there an alternative? You don't have to tell us specifically, but is there an alternative to land a leg kick now if he turns his leg out, so to speak, and defends the way you would have thought he was going to defend the first time? Is there an alternative way now to still be productive with your leg kicks if he does the right thing in those areas, or if he changes what he did?
Yeah, and just like in that fight, if he would have started checking those kicks, or if I would have been getting taken down because I was chasing that leg kick, then I would have called an audible and gone with something else. I just used them because they were there. It was damaging him. He wasn't making the right decisions to start defending them, and I knew how much they hurt, and I knew that it was going to change the fight. He wouldn't be able to plant and throw that power. His mobility would be taken away. The same thing in this one. If those kicks are there, I'm going to use them. If not, I've got a tool bag full of tricks that I can't wait to show you guys.
If Conor's not listening, Conor, turn off the sound right now. I'd like to.
I think he's probably not listening. I think this morning his wife gave birth.
Oh, God bless.
To their third child. So congratulations, Conor, the McGregor family.
Wow.
Glad to hear everything went well. Yeah.
Yeah, that's news. We're breaking news all over the place here. The maternity ward, everything.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Congratulations, Conor, and your family, and God bless to the addition to your family. I think right away my head's thinking like a trainer. I'm thinking, gee, if my guy had that kind of impact and results as you did with the leg kick. You know what I'm going to add to the arsenal from an offensive standpoint this time? I'm going to fake the leg kick and come up top. I'm thinking that. I'm saying he wasn't listening, Dustin. So you could throw that into the tool box.
The thing with I know you're still learning the MMA game here, but the thing with getting too greedy and falling in love with leg kicks. It's kind of the same thing with boxing, taking pictures, staying in front of somebody. If I start chasing this leg kick, planting myself in front of him, and he starts countering, he has a hell of a left hand that I can't be there, to get hit with. Yeah. So there's lots of, the sword's double-edged, and it's the highest level.
I was thinking fake it, it like just, and go up top.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, speaking of posing, I'm going to kind of segue off of this into something. I can't help it because you just said something. Posing after your punch. That's exactly what Chandler did the other night. Exactly. I mean, exactly. There could be a picture of that in a gym that said, don't do this. This is what we mean. And when Teddy Atlas runs his mouth on ESPN talking about taking pictures and posing. This is what he means. You don't throw a punch and then stand there and see what it did. And he got caught with the left hook. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was just that mistake. And the funny thing about it before that was in the first round, unbelievable first round, back and forth, incredible, like Hearns Hagler, back and forth. But in the first round, Oliveira goes straight back, which you shouldn't do, goes straight back, stays in the path of the punch. I always say, if a train's coming at you, you're going to run straight back? No, you're going to get off the darn track. So he goes straight back, and he gets caught a left hook by Chandler. He gets hurt. And he gets dropped. Then in the second round, Chandler's turn to break one of the rules, one of the technical rules, in my book at least, there's rules. And one of the rules is you move after your last punch. You don't take pictures. He takes a picture, he got caught. And I just think, I'm not going to get ahead of things. I'm not. But after you win your fight with McGregor, I'm just thinking, obviously you're going to fight him for the title. Yeah. And I'm thinking that you guys are like a mirror. That's for me, from my background in just a fight game, that there's a lot of similarities with you and Oliveira. You both are always impressively set to punch. You're never out of position. He's always balanced. He's always set to punch with power. He's never off balance. And you're the same way. You're always set to punch with power. But here's the funny thing. I said this to you on the air one time. Sometimes you take pictures after you punch. You got to move after you punch. And you said to me, yes, Teddy. Matter of fact, you said my coach yells at me about that all the time too. So the funny thing is the two of you, I know I'm getting ahead of things, but boy, oh boy, that would be something to see, because you have the same strengths and sometimes the same weaknesses or the same mistakes.
Yeah. That will be a hell of a fight, man. And
erase it. Forget it. I'm sorry. I don't want to do anything to take you away from your mindset where it is. But let's get past this one. That'd be a hell of a fight.
Thanks.
I was going to say, Teddy, you're becoming the Bob Woodward of MMA, trying to get Dustin to reveal his strategy for Conor. Investigative journalism.
Yeah, no, I would never do anything to hurt him.
No, of course not.
That's why I told McGregor, turn down the sound for a minute.
Hey, Dustin, we exchanged a text before the Oliveira Chandler fight, And I said, who you like tonight? He said, you said, tough call. I think Oliveira has more ways to win, but has some issues sometimes. Still think Oliveira is going to get it done. You were right, obviously right on the screws. Because in that first round, it looked exactly like you said. Sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he can make mistakes, like Teddy just said, going straight back, and he almost paid for it. But then he's showed his toughness, and that comeback was incredible.
You'll be a good analyst. Let me tell you something. I have to piggyback off of what Ken said. I thought that when you're done with this, you're going to be a damn good analyst. You are.
I appreciate that. Give me a call. I'm ready to give it a try.
I'm telling you, because obviously you're articulate, you're intelligent. Listen, whether it's MMA, UFC, MMA, or boxing, I always say that I understand the talent, the ability that you have, the work ethic you have to develop that ability, the technique that has to go with that ability to properly transport it into your arena the right way. Nobody understands that better than me. I mean, I get that. But what separates the top all the time, MMA, as brutal as it looks and as it is, boxing, the same thing, it's the IQ. You have to be smart. You have to be smart. You guys are smart. I keep saying that because I used to always be the defender of that in boxing. Like, you guys should understand, the top fighters, the guys that separate them, part of that separation is their IQ. They're smart. They understand that if you're just a guy who's tough, it ain't gonna make it. It ain't gonna make it.
That'll get you far, and then it'll get you hurt. That's what toughness will get.
That's right.
Bingo.
This is a thinking man's business. At the highest level, you have to be on top of everything.
Exactly. And anyway, that's why right away when Ken sent me what you had said about your thought about that Oliveira and Chandler fight, yeah, right away I said, yeah, that sounds right. And it played out. It played out exactly right.
I think we saw a new wrinkle to Oliveira as well. Before, if he was down, he just couldn't rally himself back into the fight. This fight, he was down, almost finished in the first, came back. So he's showing he's a true champion. And this guy has,
I'm going to jump on that.
He paid his dues.
No, 100% experience. You keep learning. Win or lose. See, that's the thing that differentiates you guys from boxing. Because it's not a death sentence if you lose a fight. Boxing's like, oh my God, he's not on. No. And then the managers don't allow, they keep the fighters from getting the fights that you got, that Oliveira got, to make you better. The fights that you lost, but they made you better. They made it possible for you to beat a Conor McGregor. They made it possible for him to beat Chandler because he had those. Because the managers were not afraid to take that fight because they might get a loss. All they thought about was, no, they're going to get better. This is what we need. And that's what fighters need, boxers. And they don't get it. Quite often they don't get it. And then
you have to learn.
You have to learn. You have to get that experience, whether you win or sometimes you got to lose to win. You have to get that experience so you become a better fighter. That's what matters. And then in the end, you get the payoff. But a lot of times, these managers in boxing and the promoters, they protect their record. Okay, looks beautiful. 15. Oh, that's nice. 17. Oh, beautiful. 24-0. And then finally, you fight a veteran guy, the real deal, and bang, you got a problem because you didn't get the fight you needed to improve in those areas. I got to point something out. I was going to save it for our podcast after we do the interview with you, but I'm not saving it. I'm going to bring it out right now. All right? I want to talk to you directly about this because I'm sure once I open it up, you're going to say, yeah, oh yeah. You know what that whole fight came down to? The whole fight, that was it. When he got dropped because he pulled straight back, that he got hit with the right hand on the side of the head, and that could screw you up. We understand that. And Oliveira went down. The whole fight, Dustin, this is it. When he was on the floor, his instinct, his innate instinct and experience, he moved his freaking head while he was on his hands and knees and avoided two devastating, maybe three devastating punches that would have ended the fight. I don't care how tough he is. It would have ended the fight. The referee, some people criticize the ref for not stopping it then, But if he hit him with those punches, and the ref did a great job. If he hit him with those
If
punches,
the ref would have stopped it, then it would have been the wrong call
it
because
would
he
have been
came back and won.
the complete wrong call. But some refs would have stopped it because you get the wrong ref.
Right.
Thank God you had the right ref. Thank God.
Right.
But if he doesn't, he's on the floor, on his knees, and he doesn't see them coming, but he knows they're going to come. And what does he do? From his experience, from his instinct, he moves his head. He moves his head. Dustin, he avoided 3 more punches that probably would have ended the fight. That won the fight for him. Right there.
That was instinctual too, because his eyes were down. He couldn't see what was coming.
No,
he was just moving. He knew something was coming.
He knew it was going to come because he knew the guy's a fighter. What's the guy going to do? Send him a candy telegram? No. He's going to send him a vicious right hand and a vicious left hand at his freaking head. So what did he do? He said, I can't see, but I know what to do. And he won the fight doing that because it survived him for that moment to come back and do what he did later. It was extraordinary. It was extraordinary. When I saw that, I was like, wow. And you know, it's not an accident because not only his instincts, but as you said, going through things, knowing what guys are going to do, you know, going through the experience. I teach in the gym. One of the things I teach in the gym, besides distance and moving your head after you punch, don't pose, all that stuff, I always say, look, if you do get hit, first of all, have full concentration, see the punch, because you got to see the punch so you can not let yourself go to that dark room. You know, you get the lights flash, everything, pull yourself out. See the punch coming, concentrate. That's what constitutes a good gym, is your mind. That you refuse to be taken to that place, to la-la land. You're not going to la-la land. You're going to clear yourself right out. You see it. But here's the thing that gets even the good fighters. It's the follow-up punches. So as soon as you get hit, move. As soon as you get hit, move. So you don't get hit with the follow-up punches.
Right.
If you look at the great fighters in the history of my sport, and yours too, but if you look at the great, my sport has a longer history, obviously. It's got a longer history than any sport out there. But if you look at the great fighters, Dustin, they never get hit 2 in a row. They don't get hit 2 in a row. Sugar Ray Leonard, one of the great fighters, never got hit 2 in a row. Durant hit him, bang, oh, the next one missed. And that's what, and this guy, that's what he did. He moved his head. He was hurt, and he moved his head. It was really magnificent. It really was to see that.
Yeah, it was. Very impressed with him, man.
I'll say this, Teddy, to your point about the boxing and the perfect records. Listen to these statistics. Oliveira made his UFC debut in August of 2010. He went 10-8 with 1 no contest, missed weight 4 times in 5 years, which to me, missing weight is worse than the loss, because that's the first job. That's like you're a ticket. Did you show up with a ticket? No, you don't have a ticket. You can't even come in.
Right.
But you know, if it happens once, twice, maybe something happened. 4 times in 5 years, he's lucky Dana didn't kick his butt back to Brazil. But kudos to Oliveira, man. Workmanlike, stick around for that long, 11 years in the UFC, 8 losses. And then to take it, he was ahead 10-8 from 2 of the judges, 10-9 on one judge. 2 of the judges gave Chandler a 10-8 round in the first, when really Oliveira dominated 90% of that round. And credit to Chandler. He came back and clipped him and dropped him. And one guy had a 10-9 for Chandler, which is how I would have scored it. But, man, Oliveira, again, not only coming back from all that adversity early in his career, but adversity early in that fight, and just demonstrated everything that a champion is all about. Brings the belt back to Brazil.
Amazing.
Character, baby. Character. That word
For sure.
always shows up, right, Dustin?
100%. And he developed that character over the years of being tested.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Speaking of your strategy going into the Conor fight as well, I just got word from Boston that you might have some help down there working on some body punching from one of our legendary Boston tough guys.
Man, Irish Micky Ward was in the gym today. I was with the legend today, man.
You better be careful with that guy. He's not just good with the body punches. He's a scrappy little bastard. He'll get you down on the ground. I've seen him scrapping in the prison.
I could tell, man. You know, guys like that don't have to talk tough or move tough. You just know. He's one of those guys I just know.
Yeah, talking about good human beings, that's one of them right there. Besides being a warrior that he is and that he has been, that's a good human being.
For sure. I'd love to. He told me he's going to be here a few days, so I'd love to try to get him out to lunch or dinner one of these days and just talk to him for a little bit.
Yeah, definitely. That would be a good thing for you.
Yeah, it'd be an honor.
I'm sure he'll be with that.
Yeah, we have each other's number, so we're gonna be in touch for sure.
No, that'd be beautiful. He not only had that, I mean, of course, I always talk about the delivery system, right, Dustin? We know he had that left hook to the liver that destroyed you. But he had the setup where he touched up top, pop, pop, and come right down quick. Just get your elbow to go just a half an inch, pop, pop, and then he catch you.
And beautiful guys who do that very well. The cadence when they do the timing, the cadence is different. It's the slower shot up top, and then the cadence is different when it lands. It changes it up on you when you're defending it. It makes it tougher to deal with. Lucien Butte was another guy who did incredible work with it.
Yeah. No.
Or Boutte. I'm not sure how you say his last name, but
I was gonna say you're going deep into the boxing archives with Lucien Boutte.
If we're talking about how could I not mention him if we're talking about body punching?
Hell yeah.
Right. No, 100%. You know what? Since we're on this track, let me ask you a question that showed itself the other night in the UFC fight with Oliveira and Chandler on the undercard. Have you ever seen a delayed reaction knockout like that before in your sport?
Only body shots. Only body shots.
100% body shots. But you don't see it as often with the headshots.
Right.
I'll name one for you. And as soon as I say it, you're going to say, oh, yeah. Tyson with Burbick.
Trevor Burbick?
Tyson with Burbick. Yeah, he hit him that left hook that swept, bop, on the tempo, it like swept. And Burbick literally froze there.
Froze, yeah.
And then just dropped.
Right.
But you're right. There are a few. We're going to talk about it on our podcast. There are a few to the chin, but mostly it's the body. The guy gets caught,
Especially when there's a couple steps that happen between the shot landing and the guy going down. You see that a lot with body shots. The guy gets hit, he looks fine, takes a couple steps back, and his body starts to quit on him.
Just drops. Drops to a knee. And
right.
No, you're right. Because it takes a little time for the pain to travel. I know I don't mean to be like joking about such a difficult situation and a serious situation for a fighter, but it's true. It takes a little time for it to travel to that area where all of a sudden it's gone. It's
and I mean, being around boxing for as long as you have, I'm sure of course it hurts, but it's something else. I don't know exactly what happens, but your body shuts down. Like you lose your legs, the toughest of the tough guys who can take whatever kind of pain they're dealing with still go down from this shot. When it's properly placed, your body just stops,
No, you're right. See, when you get hit, it depends where and who, but when you get hit in the head, it could clear up. You can clear yourself up. The equilibrium, that doesn't clean up. That doesn't clear up too fast behind the ear, because that's a different situation. And that can stay with you, and you could stay drunk, so to speak. Your legs don't cooperate too well anymore. But when you get caught in the body, the difference there, where instead of clearing up the way it does in the head, it lingers. It does. You feel like you're gonna die. I remember you feel like if you're new to that, not that I suggest anybody try it out there, but if you're new to that experience, you feel like you're never going to be okay. You feel like you're going to die. It's kind of like having a virus where some people are so sick, and you hear them say, oh my God, I felt like I was going to die. Well, that's how it feels when you get hit a liver shot, and it stays with you. It stays for that amount of time. And that, to your point, That is the difficulty, that it doesn't clear up the way you could shake off the cobwebs, the way we used to call it. It just lingers. It stays with you. And your legs look like your grandmother's spaghetti on Monday, you know.
And she never liked al dente spaghetti.
No. It was always a little soggy. It was always a little soggy, just a little bit.
Well, Dustin, we want to be respectful of your time. I know you're in training camp. The one thing I want to mention is Rob obviously didn't tell you that we're in uniform today with the good fight. Beautiful. With Teddy Atlas and Dustin Poirier. Not many people have their own The Fight T-shirt made up, but again, friend of the show, record holding, I think 4th appearance now.
Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going.
Hey, after I get McGregor out of there again, I'm coming back on.
Hell yes. And then I want to see you on with the belt.
My man.
Hey, before you leave, Dustin, obviously we're all wishing you well and everything, and I just want to. Can I throw a couple of maybe 1 or 2 thoughts of, and again I ask Conor to just shut off for a moment, so it doesn't go across to him. But can I just throw a couple of what I would think would be pointers from my humble behalf of, if you don't mind this old boxing guy giving you a couple thoughts.
Please do.
Going into this fight.
I have my pen and paper here, man. Let me get these notes.
Here's my thought. Everything is relative. You look at everything as a new slate, and I'm looking at it as the information he didn't have to the information he has, and we touched on it already. And the information he has now is, he's a pretty damn good guy kicking the legs out. So I'm not going to make that available to him this time. So you still have to find a way to keep this great striker off balance. One of the ways, the alternatives, I know you have a million of them, and you guys are really, really good at what you do. But in my humble way, I would give you this one. To keep them off balance, when you can't use the leg kicks, use feints. Yeah. Use little feints to let them think something's coming when it's not coming from here, and like feint the front door, come in the side door. Obviously he's a great counterpuncher, so feint. Get him to prematurely make a move. Feint to keep him off balance, to let him think something's coming. Even feint with your feet. That's a new one for me. Because I'm not telling fighters to feint with their feet. I'm telling them to feint up here. Let them think something comes. A little feint with your leg, just to give them more balance, just to make them maybe shoot something prematurely. And in some ways, it'll give you the same thing you were getting when you kicked at his legs the first time. That's all.
Freeze him up.
Yeah, freeze him up. And
yes, sir.
That's it. And best of luck. Best of luck. Go do what you do.
Thank you, Teddy. I will.
And I would tell you, don't jump any gillies, but I know it's happening, so I'm not even going to suggest.
I can't. I might guillotine him this one. This one might be the one.
Wouldn't that be fitting to finally end one and a big one in a gilly? Arm in.
Oh, the gilly season.
All right. Hey, Dustin, thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Shout out to all the sponsors: Everlast, Celsius, Samsung, Power Dot. Who am I missing? Vanquished, of course. Can't forget them.
Vanquished Clothing. Thank you, guys.
Robert Graham. I'm
very thankful, and my cup is overflowing. But damn, I worked hard to get here, and I got a lot more work to do.
Hell yeah, those guys are lucky to have you. Thanks so much for doing this. Appreciate you taking time while you're in camp. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Appreciate you all, and we'll look forward to chatting with you after the Conor fight.
The best to your family. Dustin.
Yours too, Teddy. Thank you guys so much. July 10th.
All right.
July 10th,
Let's go.
baby.
I'll be there.
Let's go.
Rob and I are coming.
Let's go.
All right.
See you in the winner circle. Yeah.
Attaboy. Oh, thanks, man. That was great. Appreciate you, brother.
Mate, my pleasure. Thank you guys for having me, man. Always. It's an honor.
Thank you, Dustin.
Thanks, Teddy.